All right. I believe we are live broadcasting. The audio, the video, and the desktop are reading in progress. So let's get to it. Hello, everyone. Welcome. My name is Eric Reed. I'm the founder of Eric Reed Cybersecurity Training. I am excited to have you here today. Whether you're completely new to cybersecurity, already in IT and looking to pivot, backfilling knowledge gaps, or aiming for a government-cleared role, this session is going to show you why CEH version 13 is one of the smartest career moves that you can make right now. Let me start with a little background on myself. I've spent the last 25 years training professionals across IT and cybersecurity. Over 60,000 students have come through my programs, and I've specialized primarily in CEH for the last 20 years. When I first started teaching CEH, it was still relatively new, and I wasn't quite certain I saw the market for it, but I really couldn't be any more wrong. It is the cornerstone of any cybersecurity education these days. Ethical hacking wasn't something people talked about openly in boardrooms or classrooms. Now, again, it's a cornerstone of modern cyber. Through all that time, we've kept one goal front and center: get students certified and career ready. I don't say this to showboat, but to give you confidence. Our programs consistently produce first-time pass rates of 100%, very few exceptions. Not because the exam is easy, it is not, but because our process works. Our fast track model focuses on targeted, real-world skills, and when you train with purpose, you pass with confidence. Today, we're diving into the real value of CEH version 13. I'm going to break down why CEH is worth it, what's changed in this newest version, why it matters in the AI-driven threat landscape, how the certification path is structured, because it's actually 3 levels in one program, the salaries, roles, and opportunities that CEH can unlock for you, and how to actually pass with a plan that's been proven over and over again for the last 20 years. We'll cover upcoming class dates and how to enroll. This isn't a sales pitch, well, maybe just a little, wink, wink. But most importantly, it's a strategy session. My goal today is to give you clarity on your next step, your options, and what it really takes to earn the CEH and launch your career. At the end, we'll do a live Q&A, so save your questions, drop them in the questions box as we go. All right, let's dive into why CEH version 13 is such a smart investment in your future. All right, let's start by asking a simple question. Why are you here today? For most people, it's because they're ready for something more. More opportunity, more income, more purpose. CEH is one of the most strategic moves you can make if you want to break into, backfill knowledge gaps, or level up in cybersecurity. So let's talk about the current job market. Right now, there are 3.5 million unfilled cybersecurity jobs globally. That's not hype, that is a workforce gap that keeps growing. In the US alone, we're seeing shortages in critical roles like penetration testers, security operations center analysts, and consultants. And here's the kicker. Degrees alone aren't cutting it anymore. Employers are looking for validated, hands-on skills. They want people who are certified because certifications like CEH are the industry's way of saying this person knows their stuff, they can prove it under pressure. What makes CEH special is that it's not just respected, it is required in many job postings. You'll find CEH listed as a preferred or mandatory qualification across the Department of Defense, Homeland Security, FBI, contractors like Booz Allen, private sector leaders like IBM and lots of Lockheed Martin students over the years. The financial side, strong return on investment. Depending on your role, CEH can be a $10,000 to $30,000 salary booster over your uncertified peers. You're not just learning, you're becoming eligible for high-impact job roles that demand security certifications and real-world ethical hacking skills. I've seen it firsthand more times than I can count. I've got hundreds of success stories over the years. One example, one of my students came directly from a help desk job. 6 weeks after passing CEH, was hired by a federal contractor working in vulnerability assessments. His salary almost doubled. That's the power of showing that you can think like an attacker and defend like a pro. So when you invest in CEH, you're not just getting a piece of paper, you're signaling to the market, I'm ready, I'm certified, and I'm serious. That's the kind of move that opens doors. Sorry, I think I just clicked past my slide here. For some reason, my slides are advancing 2 at a time. Sorry about that. There we go. Got a sticky mouse key. All right, so let's dive into what makes CEH such a game changer. This version is being called the AI-powered edition. That's not just a buzzword. It reflects how the cybersecurity landscape has fundamentally shifted and how CEH is keeping pace. Let's face it, attackers are getting smarter, faster, and scarily more automated. That's the right word, usage of that word. AI is not just helping defenders anymore, it's being used by attackers too. We're seeing machine learning algorithms used to craft phishing attacks. No more bad grammar and glaringly obvious, this email's not legit. They look really slick when ChatGPT kicks them out. Automate reconnaissance. A lot of repetitive tasks can be easily automated using AI. And evading traditional defenses. That's why CEH version 13 puts a focus on AI-enhanced labs. Now, I want to state this first and foremost. I don't want my students using AI as a way to bypass the learning curve. So we provide the AI alternatives after we've discussed how you do this manually. First things first, I want you to know what the commands are doing. I want you to know how to craft the command line syntax before you let AI do it for you. But it is nice once you understand the mechanics, having AI kick out a very complex series of scans, it's nice. But we want to understand what's happening under the hood first. These aren't just static exercises. Now, the labs themselves are structured. The exam for the practical, which we'll talk about here shortly, is dynamic. It's problem solving. So you're going through the wax on, wax off, paint the fence, sand the deck, Karate Kid reference. And then you're using those skills in an applicable practical situation to accomplish the tasks. These labs simulate real attack scenarios that change dynamically. You're learning how to defend in environments that behave just like modern networks under attack. You'll train in an environment that reflects enterprise-grade networks where you'll be challenged to apply your skills under pressure. In particular, the practical exam gives you 6 hours to complete all 20 objectives. But we'll get to that here in a bit. Whether it's exploiting misconfigured cloud infrastructure or identifying AI-assisted tasks, these labs are the closest thing to live fire you can get without working in an actual SOC or red team. The tool set has also been updated. CEH version 13 brings in new tools, new scripts, new attack methods that reflect what we're actually seeing in the wild. Things like polymorphic malware, evasion techniques, and tools designed for multi-cloud environments. So instead of learning tools from 5 years ago, you're working with what's being used in 2025 and beyond. And here's the big takeaway. This isn't just about memorizing facts. It's about building instinct. CEH version 13 is designed to train your brain to think like an attacker, understand your enemy so that you can better defend, adapt on the fly, and respond to evolving threats. That's why this version is resonating with employers. It's not just teaching theory, it's building muscle memory for the real world. If you want a certification that gets attention and prepares you for the front lines, CEH version 13 definitely delivers. 3 certifications in one program, possibly 4. One of the things that makes CEH different from most certifications out there is this. It's not just one exam. It's a full 3-tiered, possibly 4 certification track. That's right, with 1 course and 2 exams, you can get at least 3 certifications, possibly 4 if you work for a government agency. That's right, when you commit to CEH, you're actually pursuing 3 distinct certifications in progression that build on each other. Think of it as one structured path that takes you from theory to hands-on to elite recognition. Let's break it down just a bit. First, we have the CEH multiple choice exam, often called the MCQ or the ANSI multiple choice exam. When you pass the CEH multiple choice, the knowledge and theory-based, you attain your CEH cert, which has been widely recognized in the industry for over 20 years. But not many are aware of the progression that you can follow to complete multiple certifications. This is where you prove your foundational knowledge, tools, methodologies, attacks, 125 questions in 4 hours. It is tough, but it ensures that you understand the landscape from footprinting to privilege escalation to web app attacks. When you reach that first level, if you work for a government agency, and that's all they require, a government agency, DoD, federal, state, or local governments, you're eligible to apply for your Certified Network Defense Architect, or CNDA. That is an application fee. It does not require passing another exam. Now, this is the previous version of CEH used in the early days by the DoD. So 2 certifications from that first exam, then comes the practical. This is where it gets real. You're going to log in to a live proctored lab, take 20 hands-on challenges in a simulated penetration test. You'll exploit systems, crack passwords, conduct scans, and more, and you've got 6 hours to do it. No hints, no hand-holding, just you and the exam. This step proves that you don't just know it, but you can do it. So when you achieve the practical, you become a CEH practical. 2nd certification, possibly 3rd if you got the CNDA. And finally, upon completing both exams, you earn the title of CEH Master. So the synergy of both exams gives you a 3rd certification, and that just sounds cool. CEH or CEH Master. Most trainings stop at the CEH, and they don't take you through the practical or the master designation. We do. My pass rates, as I mentioned before, are almost always 100% with very few exceptions, and that's across both exams. Very different strategy for preparing for each, but we have you prepared and ready to test and pass in a 1-week time frame for both exams. That's part of the fast track plan, which we're going to expand on here in just a bit. Not just a badge, an elite distinction. It tells employers you're not only certified, you're battle tested. My favorite analogy is getting your driver's license. You go in, you take the written exam. You know what the safe following distance is. You know you're supposed to stop at stop signs, et cetera, et cetera. But do we really want you behind the wheel of a car yet? Probably not. So we put you on the road test. If you pass that, you're licensed to drive. One of the problems with a lot of exams out there is it's the academic side. Now, don't get me wrong, we do lots of academic certifications, but they're generally more knowledge-based than skill set-based. If I've got a skill set-based certification like pen testing, ethical hacking, I want to know you can actually apply the knowledge in a real world environment. So there you go, CEH Master. So let's recap. With one training program, you walk away with a globally recognized certification, the CEH and the CNDA eligibility, a proven skill set, which comes with the CEH practical, and an elite career credential, the CEH Master. That's rare. As I mentioned before, most certs give you just one piece of the puzzle. This gives you the full picture. It positions you for higher pay, broader opportunities, greater trust from employers. And the best part, my program is built specifically to help you attain all three, guaranteed. All right, now I'm going to expand on that a little bit. My whole mantra is pass on the first attempt. You'll see it everywhere. You see my name, all of our branding, materials, website, and I mean on the first attempt. It's not just an exam pass guarantee. If you fail, we'll take you through it again. We guarantee you're going to pass on the first attempt. And we do that by using very specific performance metrics. It is an absolute rarity, once in a blue moon, that a student doesn't hit on the first pass. And generally, they didn't quite hit the numbers or maybe rush the process a little bit. So I don't want you having to exercise retakes. Nobody wants to burn those extra hours of their life repeating an exam. So we're going to set you up to pass it on the first attempt. And again, we do it on a regular basis, almost always 100% pass rates every week. If you're not hitting your metrics, we'll probably do a reschedule, pump the brakes a little bit, wait till you're ready, give it another week, and then step up, swing the bat, and knock it out of the park. All right, what to expect on the exams. Now, we'll get a lot more specific on this if you come for the training. The exam is a moving target. One of the problems with static content is that the static content is just a set of objectives or principles. It doesn't accurately gauge the breadth of the course materials. CEH is 3,500 pages of material, and you're tested on potentially anything. Yikes. So we boil it down to what's most likely to show up on your exam, and I'm absolutely obsessive about my pass rates. I've said this before. The exam prep is updated on a weekly basis based on student feedback, very targeted. For example, this week's CEH multiple choice exam prep is about 352 slides based on 3,500 pages of material. So we boil it down, we get real specific, target the objective, and we make it happen. So what are you walking into when you sit for these exams? The first up is always the multiple choice. I recommend doing this in a specific order. Can you do it out of order? Yes. Should you? No. The CEH MCQ is a 4-hour exam, 125 questions. Everything in the materials is fair game, all rooted in real-world ethical hacking knowledge. It's not trivia. You're going to get scenario-based questions that test your understanding of everything in those 3,500 pages. Attack vectors, tools, methodologies, and how you would respond in a real-world situation. Think of it like this. You might be asked to identify the right exploit for a given network setup. Choose the proper tool to escalate privileges. It's about applied knowledge, not just rote memorization. Now, every exam involves some degree of memorization, but this is not just definitions of terms. This is applying it to a real-world scenario. Once you pass the MCQ, you're eligible to move on to the CEH practical. This is where the rubber really meets the road. It's a 6-hour hands-on exam with a live proctor watching your every move in a live lab/testing environment that mirrors the labs that you're using in the training. So it's a familiar range, but it's unfamiliar objectives. Real systems, real vulnerabilities, 20 hacking challenges, of which you need to complete 15 successfully to pass. 6 hours to do it. Timer starts, go. You'll perform reconnaissance, exploitation, password cracking using a simulated pen testing workflow. And here's the important part. It's not a training lab. There are no hints or hand holding. It is just the interface for your local testing machines and the great beyond, although it does match the subnets that you've practiced on in your actual lab environment during the training. It mirrors the exact kind of situation you're going to face on the job as a pen tester or SOC analyst. Once you pass both exams, as we mentioned before, you earn the title of CEH Master, and that's definitely a considerable multiplier. That's where things really open up. This credential carries more weight than just the CEH alone, since again, it proves you can do it, especially for hands-on roles and security clearance projects. Now, if you're looking to work in government or DoD contracting, it's a big bonus. Now, the CNDA, by the way, there's a little bit of confusion around that. The CNDA itself is not required for government roles. It's a bonus if you work for a government agency. The CEH definitely maps to 8570 and 8140 objectives. The CNDA is attained after the CEH. And actually, the CNDA is from years ago originally, where the DoD was a little bit leery about training their people to become hackers. Again, in the early days, everybody was a little bit uncertain about training their employees to hack networks. And again, now it's foundational training. So this predates CEH or early days, but you can pick it up again as an application. So in summary, the MCQ, 125 questions, 4 hours, scenario-based. Practical, 20 challenges, 6 hours, fully hands-on. Master earned when you pass both. CNDA if you pass your MCQ and submit an application fee. Not just exams, they're career qualifiers, and with the right prep strategy, they're absolutely achievable. We do it every week. All right, career paths and salaries. So let's talk about the why behind all this effort. What kind of doors does CEH actually open? What can you do with it? And most importantly, the question that's on everybody's mind, what can you earn? Let's look at the roles that CEH prepares you for. Now, this is an including but not limited to list. An ethical hacker, average salary around $103,000. You're simulating real-world attacks to test the defenses of networks, apps, and systems. You're finding the weaknesses before the bad guys do. A SOC analyst, Security Operations Center, typically starts around $90,000 with tons of room for growth. You're working on the front lines in a security operations center, monitoring and responding to threats in real time. And penetration testing. That's where the real fun starts. Salaries here average $115,000 per year plus, and you are paid to legally break into systems. How cool is that? Find vulnerabilities and help the organizations fix them before bad actors can exploit them. Pen testing is a ton of fun. I get to hack in, I'm getting paid for it, and I don't have to risk going to jail if I get caught. It's the greatest job in the world. Next to certification instruction. A cybersecurity consultant, which is kind of a catch-all for multiple categories, this one can hit $125,000 or more, depending on your specialty. Consultants advise companies, assess risk, and design security architectures. And yes, CEH is one of the most recognized certs on your resume for this kind of work. I've got lots of advisors and lots of consultants that come through my training so they can market that they have the CEH in their advisory roles. Seen it time and time again over the years. Even if they're not doing the work, it speaks volumes to their understanding of how threat actors actually work. All right, now these days we're in a little bit of uncertain times, kind of an odd climate as of late, but who's currently hiring? CEH certified professionals. If you go to any job board, you're going to see CEH required, CEH required, CEH required. The Department of Homeland Security, Department of Defense, Lockheed Martin. I've got lots of Lockheed students over the years. IBM, Booz Allen Hamilton. For the complete list of partners, check out our homepage at ericreedlive.com. These are not just tech companies, they're global leaders in defense, intelligence, and cybersecurity. They trust CEH as a measure and understanding of real capability. Here's something to think about. A lot of people assume they need a degree to land a job in cybersecurity. In reality, certifications like CEH are often more trusted by hiring managers. It's dependent upon the manager, especially for the hands-on roles. Why? Because certs prove skill. They show you've been tested in a practical environment, that you can perform under pressure. 6 hours, accomplish the objectives, go. All right, another quick story. One of my former students had no degree, working in customer support. After completing CEH with us and earning her cert, she landed a SOC analyst role. In under 90 days, full remote work and a 65% pay bump. Not bad. That's again the power of targeted training and a respected credential. So the takeaway here is simple. CEH isn't just a checkbox. It's a credential that gets you hired, promoted, and paid. And with the cybersecurity workforce shortage continuing to grow, there's never been a better time to get in. All right, let's talk about how I do things. Eric Reed's proven strategy. What makes our training different? Okay, we actually get you across the finish line. All right, I've been doing this for 20 years. My very first information technology course I ever taught was the A+ certification. I actually took the challenge to teach the class on a dare because I'd heard somewhere if you can explain it to somebody simply, you truly understand it. So I'm thinking I'm doing pretty good with this hardware stuff. When I was offered the chance to teach the night hardware class, I took it just to prove I could explain it. And then I figured out I absolutely love talking about this stuff. I also got the bug for 100% pass rates. My first training class ever, we did a 100% pass rate for the A+ hardware course. And we've been doing pretty much 100% pass rates ever since. I'm obsessive about my exam prep. It's all customized. It's all updated at least weekly. It's all under scrutinization, brutal scrutinization. I get student feedback every week. I don't rely on really anything other than what I put together personally because I know it works. So I've taught CEH for 20 years. In that time, I've seen what works and I've built a consistent system around it and every other training course that we offer. I call it currently Fast Track. Fast Track allows you to pick your objective and move towards it in the most time-efficient, energy-efficient fashion. There's generally two reasons to take certification training. One is to get the certification. One is to assimilate the knowledge and apply it practically. Now, those two objectives don't always align. So we pick one battle and then the other. First thing out of the gates, I want you certified. When you're certified, you can update your resume, start looking for jobs. First things first, complete the certification, the most visible measurement of your success. Did you pass the exam? Then we focus on the applicable practical side of things to whatever depth you want to explore it. Now, sometimes your training is about checking the box to certify compliance with DoD mandates, and then you're done. For some, it's a career changer and they want to move into it. So we allow you to focus specifically on those objectives in the most efficient format possible. That's what Fast Track is. Fast Track is the best of the best of all my experience of teaching certification boot camps over the years. You have 3,500 pages of material. Knowing that paragraph by paragraph is unrealistic. So I boil down of all that material, what is the highest priority, what's the most relevant, simplify it best we can, conceptualize everything, and get you started. It's designed to take you from 0 to certified with clarity, confidence, and speed. First, we use daily structured training, not just passive video watching. You get live instruction, guided walkthroughs, and a clear daily mission. Everything builds on what came before it. No fluff, just targeted knowledge designed for the exams and the real world. Second, we use live labs. You're not learning tools in theory, you're using them. You'll perform scans, exploit vulnerabilities, practice privilege escalation, simulate full attack techniques. These labs are mapped to the exact techniques you'll face on the practical exam and out in the field. Third, we train you for all levels: the MCQ, the practical, and the CEH master designation. Now, in my CEH classes, it's about a 40-60 split. 40% of me lecturing, doing demos, 60% of you doing hands-on labs. We do it in a morning and an afternoon session. The exam prep is focused for a week that you schedule your exam. We don't do any exam prep live in class the first run through until you've scheduled your exam. Then we focus on it specifically to pass. So you get the broad brushstroke overview, the run through everything, your first pass, and that tees you up to set your objectives and accomplish it. The MCQ prep is 1 week. The practical prep is 1 week. You'll go back through the same labs you did in the training with a very specific focus and a very specific list of objectives. Again, targeted approach for each certification and for each exam. All right, again, most training in the industry stops after the multiple choice, or your training stops after class is over and you no longer have access to your instructor. You got access to me for the lifetime of the instruction and then some. I'm looking at building mentorship relationships versus just students who come for a single class. Sorry, throat's getting kind of froggy. We go the full distance, including the prep for the CNDA eligibility. You're ready for both private sector jobs and DoD contractor roles. Fourth, and this is key, you're not doing it alone. You get access to me directly, mentorship, mock exams, live Q&A sessions, walkthroughs, and full debriefs. You have my personal cell phone number. If the phone rings, I'm going to answer it, unless I'm on with another student, and I'll get right back to you. I've trained thousands, and I stay personally involved to help you guide you through everything. I am your instructor for the class and after the class, and I am the instructor in all the courses we teach. So you have that same consistency, the same personality, and the same personalized attention. The result is we consistently see first-time pass rates of 100%. Now, I know I keep saying that. Every so often, we'll have a week where we don't do 100%, but it's extremely rare. Just do a search on LinkedIn, Eric Reed, pass on the first attempt, and then I'll challenge you to find somebody who didn't pass their exam on the first attempt. It usually doesn't happen. Our students come in focused and they leave certified. We built a system that works. There's no better feeling. Sundays are my favorite day of the week because I get all the student emails coming in going, I passed. It's awesome. So Sunday is my favorite day of the week without a doubt. Then I do some quick debriefs and then it's getting the prep ready for next week. But no better feeling than watching a student go from doubting their future to landing their dream job in cybersecurity. With the right strategy, this certification is absolutely 100% within reach. So if you're serious about passing, about building real-world skills, and making an investment pay off, fast track training is how we make it happen. And make no mistake, this is an investment that recoups itself quickly with promotions or future opportunities. So let's talk about our next step. If CEH is on your radar, you're going to want to know when and how to get started. Our next live CEH class dates are coming up fast. Monday, May 5th to May 9th, Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern. Now, our format is unique. You can attend live instructor-led sessions, where you can review the latest live instructor-led sessions on demand at your convenience. Best of both worlds, full access to the instructor. The next delivery is June 23rd to the 27th, also Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. live via Zoom, which we're using for this webinar platform. I just got a notification my microphone is off. That would be extremely disconcerting. It looks like it's live. All right, so again, the on-demand format we're going to talk a little bit more about here in a second, but it is the latest live sessions with direct access to the instructor. I don't know many other self-study products out there where you can pick up the phone and call the instructor's cell and ask questions in real time. All right, the best of both worlds, live instructor-led training, flexibility of on-demand. Full coverage, CEH multiple choice, practical, and master prep. Access to our lab environment. You're going to get 6 months access to the lab environment, and you can re-up that access as many times as you like. We're going to need those labs also to prepare for the practical. You get a complete study plan, mock exams, real tools, daily milestones, mentorship always included during, after class, and beyond. One-on-one time, custom feedback. I'm always available by cell, unless I'm lecturing, of course, and we can do a Zoom session if you need to share out your desktop. You won't be guessing ever what to do next. You'll have a plan that's helped thousands succeed before you. And remember, our students consistently pass in the first attempt. That is not luck. It's a proven process with accountability, structure, and support. If May or June works for your schedule, I highly recommend locking in your seat early. These fill up fast, especially with the webinar-only discounts that I'm going to mention here in just a moment. So if you're ready to turn today's momentum into action, these upcoming classes are your opportunity to do just that. All right, so what happens after today? First off, at 2 o'clock on the dot, we'll be sending emails out to all of our webinar attendees with a special promotional discount for webinar attendees only. So keep an eye on your inbox. You're going to get an email with everything you need to take the next step. The email will include the exclusive discount for the upcoming classes, and again, only available to webinar attendees. Personal contact information. If you have questions before enrolling, you can reach out directly and get real answers. By email or by phone, I invite you to pick up the phone and give me a call. This is not a generic follow-up. It's something I put together specifically for people who show up and take their future seriously, just like you're doing right now. It's easy to watch a webinar, get excited, and then life gets in the way. But here's the truth. Momentum is everything. Students who enroll right after the session are the ones who actually follow through. They're in class next month, they're passing their exams, and a few months after that, they're interviewing for jobs they once thought were out of reach. So let me ask you, what would it feel like to be CEH certified this year? How about next month? Next month or the month after? I had to think about our start dates here. We're still a few weeks out. Knowing that you've trained, tested, and earned a credential that proves you can do the job. That's what's waiting for you on the other side of the email. And of course, you can always visit our website at ericreedlive.com to learn more or enroll directly. Just do a Google search, Eric Reed CEH, you'll get the information you need. But if you're here today, definitely wait for that email. Again, we're doing special pricing for webinar attendees only. And actually, this month marks my 20th year teaching CEH. On April 5th, 2005, I sat in my CEH Train the Trainer class. We're actually going to be adding, and I've been thinking about this a little bit, we'll be adding probably an additional 20-year anniversary discount. So I'll figure out exactly what that's going to look like, and we'll pop that in the email. But respond back when you're interested in signing up, and we're going to give you the details. Okay, the offer in there, again, is just for this group. You have to have attended live. So those watching the session recording, you're going to need to get in before the promotional period ends. But talk to me, we'll work something out. Your cybersecurity journey just got real, and the next step is right in front of you. All right, before we wrap up, now we are going to do a Q&A session, but I know some of you might need to get back to work. So we'll do the 15 minutes of Q&A at the absolute end, and then a quick wrap up after that. But I want to make sure that you have everything you need before you leave. Before we wrap up, I want to leave you with this. CEH version 13 isn't just a certification, it's a career accelerator. It's built for the world we live in right now, a world where AI is part of the threat. AI is exciting and terrifying at the same time. New attack vectors evolve daily. Employers are searching for people who can act fast, think smart, and prove their skills. With the CEH version 13 path, you're not just prepping for a test, you're building real-world capability, a hiring-worthy credential, the confidence to interview like someone who's ready for the job. And here's the good news, you won't be doing it alone. I am here to guide you every step of the way. With the fast track live instruction, hands-on labs, mentorship, and exam prep, you're going to meet those goals. I guarantee it. We've got a roadmap that works. It's worked for thousands of students before you, and it'll work for thousands of students after you. I've seen help desk techs become pen testers. It's one of my favorites. Veterans land cleared roles. Career changers hit 6 figures, all starting with the CEH certification. And every one of them started by saying yes to the next step. So if this session lit a spark, do not let it fade. The next CEH class is forming now. You can visit us at ericreedlive.com. But again, for the webinar promotional pricing, check your inbox for your invite. Should be going out at 2 p.m. right after we wrap up today's webinar. I'll see you in class. Let's make this happen. All right, so if you've got all the information you need for today and you have to head out, thanks for joining us today. We're going to take about 15 minutes here to do a Q&A where we open things up and make the session all about you. You've heard the breakdown, what CEH version 13 includes, how it's structured, the salaries and roles it leads to, how my training helps you get certified faster and with confidence. Now it's time to ask anything on your mind, whether it's about the exams themselves, the MCQ or the practical, which tools to study or practice with, what job roles CEH can unlock, government requirements or CNDA eligibility, or how CEH compares to other certs. This is your time to get clarity. I'll be here for the full Q&A window, and I'll make sure we hit as many questions as possible. There's a questions button in your Zoom session window. If you would, drop any questions in the window and we'll answer them one at a time. No question is too basic, too advanced, or off limits. If you're thinking about it, probably someone else is too. All right, so let's get into it. Who wants to go first? All right, now I do have a question from April. I'm very new to cybersecurity. I was wondering if I'm required to sign up for the course on EC Council prior to testing. I heard that the course and the exam are about $2,500. The exam is included in official training. So the course can run anywhere from $2,000 for a self-study to $3,500. You can also attempt to self-study, register for the exam that still is going to run you about $1,500 in application fees and exam fees. And then you have the uncertainty of passing. So I definitely recommend you make the investment and do the full training. It's all included, all inclusive. And again, we're going to be putting a special webinar promotional deal out. And I guarantee you're going to pass all 3 certifications on the first attempt. So April, I hope that was helpful. And good to have you. I remember hearing a question from you on LinkedIn. So good to see you today. All right, from Ryan Easton. Ryan's got a comment here. Eric's courses are the real deal. Thank you, sir. I've had Ryan for several successful trainings. You can vouch for them. Thank me for hosting, Eric. Ryan, my pleasure. Good to see you today. All right, Caleb, I did my CEH practical. Unfortunately, I did not pass it with just 2 points. I want advice on what to do because I plan on passing the second attempt, then doing the MCQ to get my CEH master. So Caleb, did you take official training? If you've taken the official training, there is an option for the exam prep. Okay. And was that live or self-study? Hey, Chick, how you doing? We got another former student here, Chicky team from Cameroon. Good to see you, sir. Tell you what, Caleb, if you want to shoot me an email offline, there's a couple directions you can go there. We do what's called reboot camp training. And then there's also the fast track supplement if you've taken the official training, but there's a few restrictions on that. So if you've already invested in the training, I'll definitely get you across the finish line. just shoot me an email to eric@ericreadlive.com, and we'll get you set up from there. Perfect. April, I am an authorized training center. Yep. So my training is all inclusive. You get everything, the course materials, the exam vouchers, everything all in one package. It is. And the fast track, which is included, all free of charge. Definitely. Self-study. Yeah. Caleb, was I the instructor on well, let's talk offline here. So if you've already taken it, whether it was Kevin King's version or my version, I filmed most of the CEH self-studies for EC Council up through version 12. I had a conflict and they were needing to get it out the door for v13. Got a different instructor on that, but regardless, we'll definitely get you across the finish line. Yeah, anytime. Just shoot me an email. We'll get you set up. Yeah. Yes. So let me just show you guys something here. I'm going to show you a little bit. Now, this is kind of proprietary information, but I'm going to show you the format for the exam prep. All right, so for example, we start off with flashcards and a structured schedule. So this is updated every week, and these are very specific pieces of information that are going to help you with the exam. You're going to set a study schedule for the 2 to 3 hours a night, Monday through Thursday. I send you measuring sticks on Friday and Saturday. You test on Sundays. We do the same thing for the practical, but the practical is more of a list of labs, specific strategies, and specific criteria, and then measuring sticks that go along with that. They're both going to be a 7-day duration. You schedule your exam on Sunday. You get access to the materials the Sunday night before. 7 days to success, both paths. Yeah, we actually do it with all the EC Council courses. I deliver ECIH, CND, CEH. I'm losing track here, CHFI, and we follow the same structure for all those courses. My CompTIA courses are a little bit different structure, and my CISSP courses are quite a bit different due to the 3-phase training. But for the exams for CEH, 7 days. So Ashad's question, can we pass in 7 days? We do it all the time, man. Dozens per week. You bet. Recommend a self-study in CEH version 13. That depends on your, we have a couple options. So the self-study is on your own pace. They're great materials. It's official. My version includes the fast track exam prep, which is available if you do a self-study. But my courses are also live online, or you can attend the online sessions on your schedule. So you get kind of the best of both worlds and direct access to the instructor. The problem with most students that study for certification, let's say you buy a Synchronous book or a Cybex book. You get this big, thick book, and it's like, okay, all this information, but how do I focus on preparing for the exam? So having access to the instructor and guidance is always beneficial. And again, I've got direct phone support. If you have any questions, just pick up the phone and give me a call. So it depends if you've got the motivation and the discipline and the direction, then self-study can be a suitable option. My experience, you're typically going to want some instructor guidance. Audrey, a good bit of the broadcast, get a copy of the recording. Yes, if you would, please send me an email to eric@ericreadlive.com, and I will get you set up with a session recording. Okay. And Chick, all the way from Cameroon. Had Chick in several exam preps over the years. Proud to be one of my students, sir. Proud to have you as a student, Chick. Had my first job sticking to my advice after your CH and Master. Well, I might have to put you in that student success story portion of the slides next time. Another question, is there any method to update V11 to V13? Okay, so the CEH exam is version agnostic. Now, I say that, and a lot of people are like, well, there's different versions of the course. It's based on an exam blueprint. So for example, we still have a lot of CEH v12 students that are preparing for their exams. They're going to get the current exam blueprint, which maps to the current exam objectives. Both versions of the course provide material to satisfy those objectives. So with the blueprints rotating periodically, they overlap with the versions. So you don't have to update. We'd definitely love to have you back for the newest version. And we'll probably be doing some promotional, let me think about that a little bit, and maybe an update course for former students. Could probably put something together like that, Chick. But right now, the biggest component to 13 versus 11 and 12 is the AI overlays. And actually, I'm adding a bunch of additional material, and I'll actually grandfather you into the Google Drive, Chick. So I didn't mention earlier, I maintain a Google Drive share for all my students. It's extra supplemental items. We're putting a bunch of cheat sheets, one sheet at a glances, and we're putting together an AI overlay for pretty much every phase of the hacking cycle. So Chick, I'll be sure to put you on the new Google Drive share. I'm still working on that. We're getting it ready for the next delivery. But at that point, I'm going to go ahead and resubscribe everybody on the previous shares to the new version. So that might help with some of the new material. We don't use dumps. Dumps are a violation of the ethics policy with EC Council. What I do is I craft my exam prep to match the various types of things people are being tested on. So these flashcards are very specific pieces of information. They're going to help you with the keywords and the concepts that are showing up on the exam. Carefully crafted and more efficient. Dumps can be accurate, they can be inaccurate. And there's a lot of rogue sites out there that have quote unquote live exam questions. A lot of them are outdated. The grammar and the structure is horrible, and they've got wrong answers. So you got to be careful of all that. I don't trust anybody else's exam prep other than what I curate. So I know my stuff's always rock solid. But I give you a 100% pass rate guarantee with my prep. It's a good question, Ashad. I use some measuring sticks to gauge your readiness with the flashcards. Those are practice questions, but they're not dumb questions. All right, great questions, everybody. All right, it looks like our questions are leaning out here a little bit. Any more questions? All right, well, we'll go ahead. If you do have a question come up, just email me to eric@ericreadlive.com. Be happy to answer any questions that you have. So let's go ahead and wrap up the session. I want to thank you again for spending your time with me today. It means a lot that you showed up, and I hope this session gave you the clarity, the confidence, and the motivation to take that next step in your cybersecurity career. You're not alone in this journey. Whether you're just starting out or looking to level up, I'm here to help, and so is my team. Be sure to check your inbox for your CEH training offer, okay, your enrollment information, and a direct contact line to me if you have any questions. You can always reach us at ericreadlive.com, email to info@ericreadlive.com. Also, let's connect on social, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, or Facebook. We just got a bunch of new social media accounts set up, and we're definitely looking to drive up the following to get in line with what I've already got on LinkedIn. So hit our website. We've got a follow us button for every social media. You'll find tips, updates, and inspiration from students who've walked the same path and crushed it. This isn't just a class, it's a community. We'll see you in class. Let's level up, and thanks for being here today. Make sure there's no more questions. Yes, well, either info redirects to me. Eric@ericreadlive.com will get you there as well. And then you can always hit us on the website, our contact us page with any questions. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your week. Thanks for being here today. I'm looking forward to receiving your requests for enrollments and invoices. And I'm looking forward to getting you enrolled in the next CEH class. Thanks for joining us today.